What's up, everyone? How you guys doing on this beautiful Monday? I am back from my vacation. I actually just took a plane flight this early morning and got in just to do the show for you guys because that's what I care about in my life. I don't know. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day on this Monday. I missed so much. I was reading the news all week, and the news all week last week was just the Delta variant. That was it. I guess that's all that's going on. Oh, yeah, and the Olympics. Duh. But as always, I start my Monday morning off with, how good of a job Lori Lightfoot is doing in Chicago as she claims that crime is down. Crime is down. However, 51 people were shot this weekend and 8 dead. 51 people were shot. I feel like I have to say this every single week. Like it's almost like a repetitive something. This is it's like waterboarding myself. I just repeat these numbers of 51 people shot, and no one says anything. But yet, and I'm not downplaying school shootings, but if school shooting goes down, 8 people die. That's a huge deal. But then this is every single week in Chicago as Lori Lightfoot claims crime is going down. It's fake news. Crime is going down. Newsmax, shut your mouth. As she is hanging out at Lollapalooza as she thinks about new mask mandates and other lockdowns considering. But, you got to finish the Lollapalooza weekend because it's good for the Chicago as more and more people are leaving Chicago due to its, crime going up. Because, shooting people is still a crime as other, what crime factors is she talking about? Speeding tickets? Yeah, because people are leaving your city. Literally, I used to live in Chicago for a long time. Lived in there 8 years. Loved Chicago. Loved everything. I hated the politics. And the day I got into Chicago, they said, "Welcome to Crook County." And I didn't know what that meant until I lived there, and I figured it out real quick. That place is so corrupt and unbelievable. They don't care. They don't care about citizens. They just care about the optics. That's what it's all about. 51 people shot this weekend. Not a single peep from the media as... that's all that matters. Anyways, some interesting news that is coming out. The Belarusian sprinter. This story is weird to me and also makes sense, but also is eye-opening to the point where, maybe it's where we're going as a country, and it makes me nervous. Belarusian sprinter who said she was being sent home under pressure, granted a Polish visa, which is awesome. She said, "I am under pressure and they're trying to take me out of the country without my consent. I asked the International Olympic Committee to interfere." Basically, she criticized her coaches and they wanted to take her back to Belarus. And she said in a video posted, she said, "I'm afraid that Belarus, that they might put me in jail. I'm not afraid I will be fired or kicked out of the national command." She's afraid to go into gulags. That's really serious. This is just, a sprinter criticizing things. But, as our media and misinformation, big tech, and politicians want to control us more and more, this is something that is a result of more totalitarianism as we just head towards there. I feel like more and more every single day. Also, Lauren Hubbard. My favorite MSNBC article came out. The transgender lifter, Olympic athlete Lauren Hubbard just shattered the transphobic myth. And if you're an idiot, you would just take that as word of mouth because most people don't actually read the news. But this is what happened. Did Lauren Hubbard lose to a female lifter and shatter the myth and just prove that, transgender athletes belong with women in the Olympics and should be looked the other way? And yes, it's an event completely based on strength and performance. And I love some of these videos that these quote-unquote doctors talk about how testosterone isn't a key factor in strength and stuff like that, and hormone replacement, and maybe being born with more testosterone than other people. That's not a key factor. But then you talk about, hey, what about doping? What about using steroids for men? And then they're like, hey, well, that's clearly cheating. Nothing makes logical sense anymore, and that's what you need to know. That's what I keep telling every one of my friends who they try to think through some of the problems going on in the world, and I say, stop. You'll drive yourself nuts, because this is where we're at. We're at a point where we just say whatever we want. We don't have to back it up with science. We can call it the science and say whatever we want. But Laurel Hubbard, I think I know it, Laurel Hubbard. I don't know. Laurel Hubbard, she missed her 3 lifts. What does that mean, to miss a lift? I do Olympic lifting. So she tried to lift, and she couldn't get it up. No pun intended. But she tried to lift. She tried her lifts. Laurel tried all her lifts, and she couldn't get it up, or she couldn't hold it out straight, or she couldn't finish it off. But this is my favorite thing is, it didn't mention this in the article until more than halfway down, that it's just a little side note that she missed her 3 lifts. In any way, does that stop what, as MSNBC, the myth of trans people in the Olympics? No, it doesn't. It just proves that she missed her lifts. If she would have hit her lifts, imagine where she would have been. Just because someone doesn't, that's like a trans athlete going to sprint and then pulling her or his hamstring in the middle of the race and then saying, well, there you go.
That establishes there is a myth, and scientifically you can't argue against it, because if you try to argue against it, you're a transphobe.
That's just ridiculous. I just love the news and how they just blatantly just say the most ridiculous things in the whole world, and they expect you just to take it, take it for granted. Don't read our news. Just look at our headlines, because if you look at our headlines, you'll get a narrative. But if you read the news, you might actually develop your own narrative. Unbelievable. And then today, Governor Cuomo is asking private businesses for proof of vaccination for admissions. Hey, we're coming back. I've seen new reports that they think lockdowns are coming at the end of the month. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but I've seen that. It seems to be we're heading towards that, because all week last night, the Delta variant was everywhere. And I've been watching local news. I was vacationing in Texas, and local news everywhere. I think 90% of the stories was about COVID-19. I don't know who needs to know this, but we are going to live with this virus for the rest of our lives. This idea that we can just continue to lock down, continue to shut down, and continue to mask up and all this other stuff. When we have vaccines, we have therapeutics, which apparently you're not allowed to talk. Again, the reason a lot of people aren't taking the vaccines is not because of them. It's because of you. It's because of the media. It's because of how facts are distributed based on this disease. It's because that you guys aren't even talking about therapeutics. I swear, people are going to go to hospitals and they're just going to say crazy. They're going to say whatever comes to their mind, because I heard about this drug. This is the drug that I'm supposed to take. Please let me be on it. We don't have actual great evidence of what therapeutics are even being used, except for I have a ton of family in the medical field and I know what therapeutics are being used, and it's the therapeutics you're not allowed to talk about, because you're just not allowed. And again, we're pushing vaccinations, we're pushing all this stuff, but again, the main driving factor for COVID was age and obesity. I know we have this body positivity movement that's great and all, makes you feel good on the inside, but it's not the science. If you are morbidly obese and you aren't, like I saw a really sad story of a guy that claimed that he texted his wife that I should have took the damn vaccine. I've seen this story, but I've also seen pictures of the guy. That guy should have taken the vaccine. He is he is more than obese. He is morbid. He is in that category of he has a comorbidity that needs to be resolved. This idea that you can just live your life being morbidly obese and thinking that the flu or COVID won't get you and that it's just made up and fabricated is silly. If you have comorbidities, you have, asthma, lung issues, you have autoimmune diseases, you're morbidly obese, take the vaccine. I mean, what? That's the people that should be pushed. The people that are healthy, that's your decision. You talk to your doctor. You figure it out for yourself. But here we are again with Cuomo. But this is the real push of my news today, is that Obama is about to hold himself a birthday party with some 700 people in the middle of the Democrats and everybody on the Democratic media, which I'm sure some of them are invited to this party because no way. Of course they didn't help him get into office. Wink. God. 700 people in a birthday party. And we had Lollapalooza. But it's the mixed messages that people are also not taking the vaccine. It's people like Obama. It's rules for thee, not for me. I don't know if you are like me and you're just sick of it. All these people that are coming to this birthday party that are on this list, it's unbelievable who some of the people in his, multi-million-dollar mansion, which that's another story. Like, how do you get to be that rich when you're a politician? There's nothing more disgusting than a politician getting into politics really poor or just doing okay and coming out a multimillionaire, more money than you've ever made in your life. Also, has never started a job, never held a job. These people are millionaires, and that's okay, I guess. Sure. The crony capitalism, the crony politics is disgusting to see. But as always, 700 people invited to his Martha Vineyard's birthday party as the Delta variant is being pushed more and more about super spreads, getting vaccine. We should start social distancing. Should schools reopen? And then you have stuff like this. And then the media are like, it's these daggum conservatives that aren't taking the... No, it's people that are looking at what you're doing and assuming that maybe you have more information than they do, and then they're watching the way you live, and they're planning their life accordingly. If you are telling people to get vaccinated, put masks on, social distance, maybe we should shut down schools, maybe we should go back to lockdowns, and then having a 700-person birthday party. But this is our politicians. They can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. They have their little, Instagram moments. I saw some politicians and their little Instagram moments over the weekend. They had little videos, and honestly, I'm even watching Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz. I could care less. I don't have darlings in the politician, but even they are starting to get to the point where they're just having their Instagram moments too. That's what it's all about. We're just having our Instagram moments. And we're making fun of the Democrats, and the Democrats are making fun of the Republicans, and then we're crying on the steps talking about eviction. The eviction's coming down harshly. I don't know your thoughts on that. My thought is, it sucks that that's all happening, but I don't know, get a job, start paying for stuff again, stop relying on the government for your... the way you live, I guess. Live in your own means. That's a crazy concept. But I do understand at the same time that it's the government's fault that a lot of those people aren't paying. And then at the same time, you also know that there's a lot of people who, take advantage of the system. Like Obama. Like Joe Biden, who was very poor and then went to politics and is a multimillionaire. I'm just so tired of politicians saying one thing, doing the other, becoming vastly rich off of being president, being, a senator, doing their book deals, having their little talk shows, having their statements, having their lavish lifestyles as they tell you how to live. They tell you what to do. They tell you what to eat. They tell you what's okay. I was just thinking this the other day is, where is this whole Wuhan lab leak stuff, this bombshell, do we even care where COVID came from anymore? We're just worried about variants. We're worried about pushing who's the biggest person that we can make the villain of the week. Is it all these Republicans not taking the vaccine? Why aren't we still talking about Wuhan lab? It's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard of in my life. They cause millions of people to die. But again, these people that cause millions of people to die, no one talks about. Chicago has mass shootings. No one talks about. We're so worried about the border. No one talks about. We're worried about the border. We're worried about COVID, but then we have mass amount of illegals crossing the border who aren't taking the vaccine, who are testing positive for COVID. No one cares about that. It makes no sense. And you think I'm the one taking crazy pills? I'm the only one that's feels crazy because I'm paying attention, and I bet you're like me. You're not alone. Keep paying attention. This week's going to get crazy. I feel like it's going to bump up even more, or it's going to slowly dwindle. Because as we see, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's approval rating numbers are vastly dropping. They are not liked. You guys are doing a great job. Have a great job. Have a great day, everyone. Let me know your thoughts on this, some of these stories. That Belarusian thing is so crazy to me. And Obama having his birthday party. Of course he is. Of course he is. 51 people shot in Chicago. No one says anything. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next episode of the Derek O'Shea Show. Hopefully the next episode will be even better, as I promise. I'm just getting back in the swing of things. Sometimes taking a week off, it takes a little while to get the gears grinding. Bye.